Hey guys, Eric here out at the Bethlehem Golf Club. In today's video, we're going to talk about a recent lesson that I gave and how I showed my student how to create more club head speed and hit the ball farther, really with less effort. The key was this little three-step process that I'm going to show you and how you want to get the speed through the ball into your follow-through versus early in the downswing. Let's dig in. All right, guys, so recently I had a lesson with a player who came to me who was really struggling to get the ball to go farther. And when we implemented this little drill and this three-step process, he had his 7-iron originally going about 155 to 165 yards, which is still a good distance. But after we implemented this, he was able to hit his 7-iron like 180 yards. And shout out to Jay Chown Golf. If you haven't seen his channel, he had a recent title and thumbnail like this that inspired this video. The drill that he was shown that worked for him is basically the same drill that I use for my student. I want to show it to you here now. Here's the three-step process we use, and I've got a 7-iron for this. The student that I had that came in, and a lot of students try and do this, was struggling to hit the ball farther because he was really focused on trying to create speed early in the downswing, okay? And while in reality, you do create speed early in the downswing, I find that in training, if you put your focus on creating speed through the ball and into your finish, that for your brain to create that speed later, it will have automatically started earlier, okay? We want to focus on putting speed through the ball into my finish position. A lot of players that I work with, and this gentleman in particular, was putting a lot of speed at the ball, and they sort of have this like fake follow-through position. Whereas if you watch any good players who hit it really far, they're putting speed all the way through. And this drill is the way I showed him to use that I want you to do the same thing. So first I said, okay, let's grab your 7-iron and take a normal setup. Now I walked in and I put my foot behind the club head for him because I didn't want his club head to literally move back at all. So I'm just gonna grab a bucket of balls here to have an object. And when you do this, you don't need to have this there, but I think it helps sort of serve the point. I said, okay, let's take your setup position and without making a backswing, get this club to your full finish as fast as humanly possible. And most players, when I show them this, they like don't even know how to start. They're like, what? No backswing? Like, how do I even start it? And that's exactly my point, right? Is your brain needs to learn how to put speed from here to the follow through. Now I'm gonna feel like I move this really fast. It's not gonna look that fast, but it's gonna feel fast from here into my follow through position. Should feel fast and rushed. No backswing at all. I put my foot there, got the bucket, fast into the finish. Okay, and we did those a couple times. He's like, okay, I kind of get where you're going there. I kind of feel what that feels like. I took my foot out of play, that's to not get injured. I said, okay, let's do step 2 of this. After you can do speed with no backswing at all, the next phase is to do speed with really as short of a backswing as possible. And so what we did next is we take our club, put it parallel to the ground. I want you to do this with me. And I want you to get your club from here to your finish position, same thing, as fast as possible, without your hands really moving back away from the target yet at all. So here, through. Lots of speed through the ball. So feel kind of fast and rushed. Here, no backswing, speed through, through. You're gonna wanna pull your hands up and back as you do that. I want you to resist that in your practice, okay? And that's where we started to actually hit balls from there. And when you actually start to hit balls, we're gonna put the club in right about here. And now as I'm hitting, I am gonna allow a little bit of the hands working up and back as I try and swing forward as fast as humanly possible. I'll explain why that works so good. So remember, a couple reps, no backswing. So just from here, as fast as possible. 1 or 2 reps from right here, get through as fast as possible. And now we're gonna hit from that pause position, but I'm gonna allow the hands to work slightly up and back. So I'm gonna set the club parallel to the ground, like so. And as my hands are gonna pull up and back a little bit away from the target line, I'm gonna feel like I go forward and create as much speed as possible. So take my normal setup, club's parallel. There's a slight up and back motion as I'm swinging down and forward. And the reason that works so well is for me to create speed from such a short position, I have to recruit all of those big muscles from my body, and I have to recruit and start that from the ground up. So if you're someone who has a very inactive lower body, it feels like maybe it's all arms, you can't quite get your body moving, this is how you can create that speed. Again, with all of the intention being pass the ball into the follow through. Now, like any drill, it took him a couple swings just to get used to this, and it'll take you a couple as well. So 7-iron here, set it. I'm gonna feel like as my hands go up and back away from the target, I'm actually gonna start to be shifting into my left foot. Hands up and back with a little shift forward. I'm sort of disassociating my body motion. That's the key for speed. So parallel to the ground. And there's a really solid high and far one. And literally when we did that drill, which probably for me is about the same distance, he was hitting his 7-iron literally 20 yards farther from that drill than when we started that day. Now, what happened when he was doing this drill and we were looking at video is once he started doing the drill and the hands went up and back, his lower body started activating, his body started turning, he started shifting towards the target. All of a sudden there was some shaft lean. He was really compressing the ball by feeling that same thing. Now, we were doing that, we probably did about 10 to 15 reps of the same thing. So feeling like the speed's all out here in front, right? Don't get that fake follow through finish. Make sure you feel like you're swinging all the way through with speed to a full finish. That was concept number one. Concept number two was let's learn how to create that speed from there through. And it should feel like, man, I'm really going fast. I'm really feeling rushed. Now, the point is, in training, you feel that. You feel a little bit uncomfortable to be able to create that speed. Then we take that into our full swing. I said, okay, let's make a normal swing. Let's make a full length backswing. Now, once I feel like my hands get all the way to the top of my backswing, then feel like I'm creating that same momentum as if my hands are going away from the target as my pressure starts shifting into my lead foot. That was really the concept that we went home with. So I'm gonna feel that same thing, but still make a full backswing. And the sensation that he told me he felt when he was feeling that, again, these golf balls are all going like 20 yards farther. And what I want him to do is push himself far enough. And when I'm in LS, I want to push you to like 120%. Because when you go back by yourself and you go on the course, it's going to ramp down a couple levels to find normal, right? So you want to get uncomfortable here and then find sort of a middle zone that helps. But if you want to hit the ball farther, you're going to need to feel a little bit more energy, right? A little bit more speed. And this is how you train that in. So same thing, we did full swing. Once my hands get to the top of my swing, I feel like my hands keep going away from the target or away from the ball as my pressure starts going forward. So my hands are going one direction and my pressure is going in a different direction. And this was the drill that helped him, again, about 20 yards with his 7-iron. So same feels. And you're gonna feel when you do that, like that ball feels like it pops off the face farther. And again, you know, in a lesson, sometimes you get a little bit detailed and we talk through the details, but you want to simplify that at the end as much as possible. So I said, hey, when you go play, that's your feel. Get the hands are working away from the ball, the pressure's going into your left foot. The hands are working away from the ball, your pressure's going into your left foot. And that's happening at the same time. Let's do one more. Hands away as the pressure goes forward. I know you guys like it. That's as solid and high and far as I get my 7-iron. I hit my 7-iron probably like 180, 183. I bet those are more like 195 when I do that drill. So I like to give you guys some of these stories when I'm working with someone, right? So the things that work for them will probably work for you as well. He told me he's been trying to hit the ball farther for like 3 or 4 years with really no improvement. And in literally like 40 minutes of us doing these drills, he gained like 20 yards. And that feel he had of the hands working away as the body's working forward is the main thing you need to feel. To train it, and a lot of players I see will get their speed at the ball, at the ball, at the ball. Get your speed through the ball, right? Even if you just hold the club parallel to the ground, get your speed through the ball. Feel the pressure going into your lead foot as your hands are working away, and you're gonna get that speed and compress the golf ball. If you ever want help with this, we'd love to have you come see me in person. We'll have that link down below and have a ton of spots available for that. But if you can't do that, cogornogolf.com, send your swings in. We could build a plan like this. Obviously, you get access to all of our videos, practice plans, community for a way, way, way reduced price. We'd love for you to take advantage of that. Any questions, as always, on this stuff, leave a comment down below. Appreciate you guys watching.